was living homelessly in Wake Forest. I was staying in between Harris Teeter and Planet Fitness just so I could take a shower in between jobs. I was so close on the verge of suicide. I was hopeless. I was almost hopeless. Something told me to start going to church. I didn't know what, because I didn't know the Lord yet. I first went to my mom's church, but I was so scared that I would run into her. So I only attended it like twice. And the second time, I finally got the courage to ask for a Bible. But I started reading about an hour every night before bed. I didn't know where to start, and it was a King James Bible, so it was a little harder for me. But I just started from the beginning, from Genesis. And I was just slowly highlighting things, slowly writing things down, still living this lost life, continuing in my habits. As I was at a local laundromat, and someone that was attending Faith Baptist Church, I knew something was different about him. I didn't know what. It was like Jesus in disguise is how I would explain him. He was talking about churches, and I was tired of going to my mom's church because I didn't want to be seen there. So he handed me a card for Faith Baptist, and I talked with him a little bit about it. But about a week later, I kept noticing that I passed Faith, and I was like, you know what, I'll try it out. I'll try it out. And right in between the third time I went, I came to know Christ. It's January 7th, 2022. I just took a walk. I took a walk at Joyner Park. I needed to get away from my phone and just that vehicle that I was living in. After that, 3 things happened at the local laundromat. The first was, it was a young lady that came in. Something was telling me, you need to help her out. And I just asked if she needed help. She did. And after that, I felt this warm-hearted feeling. And then the second thing that happened was this man, and I saw him from across the laundromat. And immediately I judged him. I got to talking with him, and everything that I kind of judged about him, I was completely wrong. And then the third thing that happened, which hit the most, there was this mother that was there, and she had 2 kids. Immediately I judged her as well. And then I just caught a glimpse. I caught a glimpse of affection from her. Her child was on the phone, and her mother just went right behind her and just hugged her and just showed affection. And from there, I took a step back, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I just judged her without knowing her. I felt so awful after. I get in my car and I rush to my parking spot for the night, put the blind down, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, what's going on? It's like I could see the commandments, because I wrote them down on the front of the Bible. And I was just realizing like what a terrible person I was, like how far I have fallen. I pulled out a picture of my family. I just started crying, and I couldn't stop. But when I was crying as well, I remember clearly looking into the mirror, saying to myself, I'm breaking all my moral standards. But yet I felt the most heaviest burden that I ever carried. It's like it was just lifted right off my shoulders. And it was so amazing. And then it was this Sunday that I went into faith for the 3rd time. I met one of my best friends and just brother in Christ, and he's been an amazing example to me. And he didn't know me, but he was sitting right in front of me with him and his family. And he kind of just turned around to me. But it's like what he was doing it's like Christ, was there. And so many things happened from that day. He invited me back, and he introduced me to a friend that I actually stayed with for about a year and a half. So it's been a lot of maturing, a lot of discipleship, and time spent in the Word and in prayer as well. So my next step is to get baptized. And I'll say before then I was afraid because I care what people thought. But now the only one that I really care about, who they think about me, is Christ. And I'm so ready. He's changed so many things, completely turned my life around. Like I never thought I would ever overcome alcohol. I never thought I would break that addiction or drugs. I never thought I would have a home again. I never thought it would be possible that I would ever be on right terms with my family. And Christ made that happen. Christ was faithful, even in my unfaithfulness, I'll tell you that much.